You're losing hundreds of thousands by waiting to invest. Here's why timing beats amount. Picture two people investing the exact same amount every month into the exact same kind of account. Decades later, one of them has far more money than the other, sometimes hundreds of thousands more. The difference isn't luck, it's timing. By the end of this video, you'll know how to use that timing yourself, whatever age you're starting at. Here's what's coming. You'll meet two savers, we'll call them Elena and Marcus. Both put money away every month. One starts young, one starts later. You'll see exactly how the gap between them opens up. And more importantly, the one moving you can make starting today, whatever your age or income. Most people think the secret to compound interest is finding a bigger return, a hotter stock, a lucky pick. It's not. The real secret is something almost everyone skips, and we'll get to it later. First, let's watch these two savers play out, decade by decade. It's tempting to think the answer is finding a stock that doubles overnight, or timing the market perfectly. Professional investors spend careers trying to do that, and most still fail to beat a simple, steady approach. The real advantage isn't a smarter pick. It's simply showing up early and staying in the game. Elena starts investing at 25. She's fresh out of school, her income is modest, but she commits to putting away $200 every month into a simple investment account. No drama, no timing the market, just a steady habit. She keeps this up for 10 years, month after month, $200, rain or shine. By the time she turns 35, she has contributed a total of $24,000 of her own money. Then something interesting happens. She stops adding new money completely. Elena doesn't touch the account again. No new deposits, nothing withdrawn. She simply lets it sit and grow for the next 30 years, while she goes on with her life, her career, her family, her everyday choices. This is where compound interest starts doing the heavy lifting. Every year, her money doesn't just grow, it grows on top of what it already grew the year before. Like a snowball rolling downhill, picking up more snow, faster and faster, the longer it rolls. By the time Elena turns 65, using a common long-term average return of around 8% a year, that account has grown to roughly $400,000. From $24,000 of her own money, untouched for 30 years. Now meet Marcus. Same monthly amount, $200, same type of account, same average return. The only difference is, Marcus doesn't start at 25. He starts at 35, exactly when Elena stopped contributing. Marcus isn't careless. He simply had other priorities in his 20s, paying off school, building a career, figuring out life. That's true for most people. The point of this story isn't to judge Marcus, it's to show what those 10 quiet years are actually worth. Marcus is disciplined too. He keeps investing $200 every single month without missing a beat. For the next 30 years straight, all the way until he turns 65. Add it up, and Marcus contributes $72,000 of his own money over those 30 years. That's 3 times more money out of his own pocket than Elena ever put in. Yet at 65, Marcus's account is worth around $298,000. Less than Elena's $400,000, even though he contributed 3 times as much money. Same monthly amount, same return, same discipline, but Elena ends up over $100,000 ahead of Marcus, simply because her money had 10 extra years to compound. To put that gap in perspective, $100,000 could cover years of rent, a significant part of a home down payment, or a real head start toward retirement. That's the size of the gap that 10 quiet years created, without either of them changing their monthly habit at all. So why does 10 years make such a massive difference? This is the part almost everyone misses, the one move that matters more than how much you invest, or even what you invest in. Compound interest isn't a straight line, it's a curve that bends upward. In the early years, growth feels slow, almost boring. But the longer money sits, the steeper that curve becomes, because each year's growth is now calculated on a bigger and bigger pile. Think of it like a construction site. The first few weeks, all you see is a hole in the ground, nothing impressive. Then suddenly, floor after floor goes up fast because the foundation was already poured years before. That foundation is time, and it's the one ingredient you can never buy back later. If this is clicking for you, hit subscribe, because next we'll break down the exact move most people skip and how to apply it starting today. Notice something else. Marcus didn't fail because he made a mistake. He was just as consistent as Elena. He simply started the clock later. And no amount of extra monthly savings later in life fully makes up for years the money never had to grow. The secret power of compound interest was never about finding a better return or investing a bigger amount. It's about starting the clock as early as possible and then simply not stopping it. Maybe you're thinking, that's great, but I can't invest $200 a month right now. Here's the good news. This principle works at any amount. $50 a month, started early and left alone, follows the exact same curve. The starting number matters far less than the starting date. Here's a simple way to see this for yourself without needing a calculator app or a finance degree. It's called the Rule of 72, and it's been used by everyday savers for generations. Take the number 72 and divide it by your expected yearly return. If your money grows at around 8% a year, 72 divided by 8 equals 9. That means your money roughly doubles every 9 years. So if you invest $10,000 today, in 9 years it could become around $20,000. 9 years after that, $40,000. 9 years after that, $80,000. The amount you start with matters far less than the years you give it. Let's try it with a smaller number. Say you start with just $2,000 instead of $10,000. At the same 8% return, that becomes $4,000 in 9 years, $8,000 9 years after that, and $16,000 9 years after that. Same curve, just a smaller starting point. It doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, your 40s, or your 60s right now. The math doesn't care about your age, only about how many 9-year doubling periods you still have ahead of you. In your 20s or 30s, even a small monthly amount can double 4 or 5 times before retirement. In your 50s or 60s, you may only get 1 or 2 doublings left, which makes starting today even more urgent, not less. Even if you're starting later in life, 1 or 2 doublings is still real money working quietly in the background. Money that would otherwise sit still and lose value to rising prices over time. Something is always better than nothing, and today is always earlier than tomorrow. Elena and Marcus put away the exact same amount every month. The only real difference between them was 10 years. 10 years turned into more than $100,000. That's the quiet, patient power of compound interest. You now know the 2 things that actually move the needle: starting as early as possible and giving your money time to sit undisturbed. You also have a simple formula, the Rule of 72, to see your own doubling time in seconds. Imagine checking this account 30 years from now. The version of you that exists then is either thanking you for starting today or wishing you had. That future is being decided by a choice you can make in the next few minutes, not in some distant, perfect moment. This week, open whatever account you've been putting off, even if you can only start with a small amount. Then answer this in the comments. Are you closer to Elena, starting early, or Marcus, starting later? Either way, the best time to start is still today. If you found this useful, subscribe, because next time, we're breaking down the one mistake that quietly cancels out compound interest for most people, and how to avoid it completely.